What's up guys, this is Coach Donnie with ElevateYourself.org. In this video we'll talk about how to defend against an outside hitter or a left wing spiker, focusing mainly on defensive footwork. And this video was suggested by Muravu, so thank you so much for this video suggestion. Before you continue watching this video, make sure that you watch the video about base defense, because all of your defensive positions should start from base or home defense. And you can watch that video by clicking on the video link up here. The first position we'll talk about is right back. Once you start in your base position, you're going to transition back toward the baseline and near the sideline. We call this position the line digger because your main responsibility is to defend against the line from the outside hitter. Your first priority is to dig the hard spike down the line. Your second priority is to dig the tip down the line, which often falls in front of the 10-foot line. In order to transition from base to your line digger position, you're going to step with your outside foot first, which is your right foot, then your inside foot, which is also your left foot. Then you're going to hop back with both feet so that your right foot is in front and your left foot is behind. The reason why you need to hop back with that inside position, because it will help you transition faster during the last movement instead of taking two individual steps. The reason why you need to have your left foot back and your right foot forward is because it keeps the ball from shanking away from the court and will help you turn the ball toward the court. If I dig with my left foot in front, and by the time the ball gets to me, if I straighten my body, I'm going to turn away from the court. If I keep my right foot or my outside foot in front, then when the ball spikes to me, I'm going to turn into the court where my feet are squared up to the setting target. The reason why you want your right foot to be exactly on the line when you're defending against a line attack from the outside hitter is because you want to reduce the number of decisions that you have to make. If I start my defense slightly inside the line, then I have to worry about digging to my right and my left. And if I happen to dig to my right, then I have a chance of shanking away from the body versus shanking into the court. If I start right on the line, then I only have to worry about one direction, which is inside, and if it's to the right of my shoulder, I don't have to worry about digging that ball because I know it's going to be out because my foot is right on the line. This also goes in line with the principle of digging outside in. The only exception to this rule is if you're playing at a very high level, meaning high level college or professional volleyball, then you should start slightly inward. Oftentimes you'll see professional volleyball players position their line defense slightly inside the sideline. The reason why they do this is because the ball is traveling so fast at that level that they don't always have time to reach away from their body to dig the ball, and they have to position their body behind the ball in order to dig the ball with control for that level of spiking. Another reason is most line attacks are slightly inside the court and not directly on the sideline. Because the ball is traveling so fast, they need to position the body to where the highest percentage of line attacks will land and give up the perfect line attack right on the sideline. Unless you're playing at the professional level, I still recommend that you start with your line defense directly on the sideline because you should have time to reach inward, and you always want to dig with an outside-in type of strategy. Now we'll talk about the footwork for the left back defender. First you start in your left back base position, then you take a step with your right foot or your inside foot, and then you shuffle both feet straight back. Notice that the left back position is slightly in front of the right back position. This is important because you want to dig around the block and not behind the block. Digging around the block means that you're trusting the blocker to take away a hard spike that will land in the middle of the court, so that all you have to focus on is the hard angle or the sharp angle spike from the outside hitter. Digging under the block means that you're going to dig a ball that your blockers are already taken away. So it's important that you and your blockers will work together to make sure that you're not occupying or taking the same ball. Another reason why it's important to stay wide when you're digging the angle as a left back defender is you want to make better errors. That means digging the ball from an outside in position. It's better for you to start wide and have to move inward when I'm digging the ball, because if I make a bad pass, I'm at least making a bad pass towards somebody and toward the court, which can be playable. Whereas if I start to cheat in or stay too deep on the left back, then I will end up moving away from the court, which means if I happen to make a bad pass, then the bad pass will be away from the court and away from people, which will not be playable. Your main priority as a left back defender is to dig the hard angle spike. Your second priority is to dig the roll shot over the block that lands in the middle of the court and behind the 10-foot line. Now we'll talk about middle back. Your main priority is to dig the ball that happens to be spiked in between the right front and middle blocker. Sometimes your blockers cannot close the block all the way, so if there happens to be a gap, you need to position yourself so that you're facing an outside hitter and lined up in that gap, in case the outside hitter happens to spike in between the two blockers. If the block is closed all the way, then I need to read left or right to help either the line digger and double up on the line, or help out with the angle digger and double up with the angle. This is assuming that the spiker cannot hit through the block, so they either have to go around down the line or around the block toward the angle, or maybe over the block, which is why you need to stay deep as a middle back in case it happens to go high off the hands or over the block. The most efficient footwork to transition to the right or left is what I call step shuffle or step shuffle shuffle footwork. And you can learn about that passing footwork by clicking on the video link up here. Now we'll talk about the left front defender. First, you'll start in left front base. Then you're going to transition off the net onto the 10-foot line. In order to transition in the quickest way, you're going to open by stepping with your right foot first. Then you're going to cross step with your left foot. And then you're going to hop into place on the 10-foot line. This position is also called the off blocker because it is the only front row position that is not involved in blocking. In general, your main responsibility is to dig the tip or the roll shot down the angle in front of the 10-foot line. Your second responsibility is to dig the very sharp angle spike inside the 10-foot line. If you're playing at a very high level, you'll probably see more of those sharp angle hits, so therefore that should be your first priority. If you're playing at a slightly lower level where not many people can spike inside the 10-foot line, then your main priority should be more about digging the tip and the roll shot inside the 10-foot line. Another situation where your priorities might change is if you have a single block, then there's a higher chance that the spiker can spike inside the 10-foot line, so therefore you must be ready for that first before you dig the tip. But in general, your main responsibility should be digging the tip and the roll shot inside the 10-foot line. Now we'll talk about the middle front and the right front blockers. If you want to learn proper footwork and hand positioning as a middle blocker or a right front blocker, please click on the video link up here. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your volleyball friends and teammates who would like to learn about how to defend against an outside hitter. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel where I'll be releasing weekly volleyball tutorial videos just like this one. If you have any other video suggestions regarding volleyball, athletic training, or fitness, make sure that you search through my YouTube channel before providing a video suggestion. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.